Good morning. 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 I don't own any rights to this song. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to give you guys time to join. If you're joining, welcome to the BAM community. For any new, I think we got a couple of new people. Thank you so much for being a part of this BAM community. Thank you so much. And to every person, let me make sure you can hear me. Yes, to every person that has been on the journey. If you did not watch the replay, go watch it after this live. Go watch the replay as we're going on a journey for the next couple of weeks in the month of October. Father, I pray right now that there's something I say that will be empowering, encouraging, and impactful to that woman that is listening and to that woman that is watching the replay as we rock out together here in the BAM community. Alexa, stop. Listen, welcome to the BAM community. So glad I see you guys are jumping on. If you're on, good morning, I see you. If you're on, can you put the butterfly? Because we are about to be transformed. If you were on with me last week, we talked about we've been going on a journey. If you know me, you rock out with me, I love going on journeys with you. And just kind of taking you through a process this month, in the month of October. I decided to go live every month. Let me pause and park and say this. Shout out to everyone that came to the Empower Her conference. It was absolutely amazing. I thought I had told them to record it in my mind shine, but I forgot to tell them out of my mouth to record the whole thing. Totally forgot. And I hate I did that. I'll make sure I put that on my checklist for next time to be able to make sure that we record so that we can have that information and that content. But I thank you for everyone that attended, everyone that came out, and everybody that rocked out. So let's get started. Let's deep dive in. Show your butterflies. I see y'all coming on. Welcome. We've been talking about the month of October. I wanted to do this and go live every week because I realize I always find a reason to celebrate. Right? And so one of the reasons I knew that I wanted to do this month, I did an email blog. Go check it out when you get a chance. Good morning, Legans. Go check it out on the email blog where I'm talking about the different celebrations for this month. And as I told you last week, I'm celebrating a lot of things this month, man. I celebrate the fact that basically I started a ministry 14 years ago called Women of Destiny, the scariest thing that I've done. As well as my first book was written in this month, as well as writing a book with a group of ladies that I had never done before, called There's a Real Who You. As well as this was the same month, Legans, that me and Bishop had a conversation with our girls and made the decision to downsize. And by December, we were moving into the apartment. Back in 2019. So we were making a decision. So this month was not just a month for me, but I wrote in my email blog, but this was the month. Good morning, Sister Lee. This was the month where my pain met my purpose. I have been through so much pain throughout the years, and I went through a physical pain with my first book, There's Power in Your Pain. I was on a cane and all that stuff. And before that went through some, other pain, and all of us been there. I need you to put the number one. Don't leave me out here by myself. Tonya, I've been through the same thing. I done been through some stuff. Pastor T, Lady T, whatever you call me. I've been through some stuff. I know what you're talking about. And I know when my pain met my purpose. And if you don't, I need you to go back and look at week 1 where I share with you how my pain met my purpose. And I found God in my hardest place. And I shared a couple of principles with you from pain to purpose and how I got to that point. And how not only did I allow how my pain met my purpose, but check this out, Sister Lee. I also realized that my obedience unlocked overflow. Can you type that? My obedience unlocked overflow. What's up, Brittany? Can you type that? My obedience. So my first week, I'm really kind of dealing with turning my pain into purpose, right? This week, I'm kind of dealing with how my obedience unlocked overflow, Not yet, but a little bit. So today we're going to be talking about, I love it, when my pain meet my purpose. I wish some of you guys will lie with me, man. We could really dig down and shine. We can deep dive in that one, when my pain met my purpose. Sister Lee say she still have the book. Yay! Thank you, Sister Lee. I need to read it again. I think I need to do a book club. Y'all think I need to do a book club with my very first book? Don't make me do a book club where we talk about it. I need to read it again myself. But I literally talked about how the first week, how from my pain to my purpose, I kind of dealt with that, from the pain to the purpose. And then now I'm kind of dealing with this week, when from purpose to passion. Somebody say yes. All right, y'all, don't play. Don't make me, because I take a break in December, so don't make me do it in November sometime. We'll kind of talk. I'm going to pray about it. But yeah, I haven't done that book in a while. We may do that. All right. And that wasn't even planned, but okay. But I need you to type in the screen. Last week we talked about from pain to purpose, but now I want you to type. Now we're going to talk about from purpose to passion. So what am I doing? I'm sharing the journey to that individual that is first week, that was trying to figure out what to do with your pain and what does it look like. So in the first week, watch the replay. I show you how to find God in your hardest time. And that's how I found him. I found him every spot, everything that we're doing, even in our now. Found God in my hardest time. I teach you that. The next thing I want to show you is how I literally had to find God in my purpose. When you go from pain to purpose and really discovering what you're called to do. So this today is for that person that is saying, okay, I know I'm called to do a lot. And this is where I found myself, Sister Lee, after I wrote the book, after I started the women's ministry, after I'd done all these things. And Lady Hines said something at the event on this past Saturday. And she said, what is it that you do for you? So when I'm talking about this, I realized, yes, I did a lot for a lot of women. Yes, I had a women's ministry. Yes, I was able to do retreats. Yes, we were able to do spa days, all this stuff together. Yes, I was able to empower women through my pain. I was able to do that, but it was only for them and not for me. And Lady Hines asked the question. She said, how do you do stuff for you? Come here, Legans, if you're still on. How do you do stuff for you? This is what I'm sharing with you, is how my pain met my purpose. I'm literally sharing you the tools of what I learned to do for me and not for others. It is very important and very vital that you realize that if you're going to live this life, yes, it would end up being for others. I feel like, Sister Lee, what is his name? Bishop always use him as an example. Forrest Gump. Is that Forrest Gump just took off running, and it did not matter who was following him. He just took off running. And that's what I want to teach you, is that I just took off running. And it did not matter who followed me, but whoever followed me became contagious to the purpose that God had told me to do. And God will do the same thing through you. So from pain to purpose, from purpose to passion, from purpose to passion. Such a thought-provoking question. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Because we get so caught up in everybody else and what we do for everybody else. But we forget about what are the things that we do for us. When I wrote this first book, that was the first thing I did outside of being Clyde's wife, outside of being New Destiny's pastor's wife, outside of being my children's mother, outside of being an auntie, outside of being a daughter, outside of being a mentor. This here was for me. Can I pause and park and say, what is the thing that you done for you lately? What have you done for you lately? And some of you probably have, right? You probably have. So let's talk about it. From purpose to passion. How that once I got this purpose and I did it. So how do I get to a point of turning this purpose into my passion? Because even though I knew a call was on my life, I didn't know the depth of the call, and I still don't. How about that? Because I'm still discovering myself. Can you type in the screen? I'm still discovering me, sugar. I haven't left this world yet, and I'm still discovering who I am and what God has called me to do. And so I'm in the midst of that. I'm still discovering that. But I realized that Jeremiah 29:11 says that, for I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. This is what Jeremiah tells us. And so when I started realizing that, I found out my truth and what I do, Sister Lee. This is what I found out. This is my truth and what I do. I found out that my purpose fuels my passion. Let me say that. Because my purpose fuels my passion. And in order for that to happen, I always remember my why. Yeah? Come here. Your purpose will fuel your passion. It will make you passionate about what you're doing. But you got to remember your why. And that will allow your growth to be like maybe to set things on fire. It'd be like fire, shut up in your bones. I literally found out different people that read my book or done what they done. I was like, wait a minute. I literally found a partial of my purpose, my passion. And my passion was allowing other women to see themselves through God's eyes, but also understanding that they are a product of God's grace and mercy. So I wrote that down, Sister Lee. Like, how can I do this for me? I had to realize that I was a product of God's grace and mercy. Can you type that? If you notice, every video I do at the end, I say, make sure you see yourself through God's eyes. And remember, you are a product of God's grace and mercy. This is when I identified that particular slogan or slang. I don't know, Legans, I might need to trademark that. You understand me? Because, baby, yeah, the Lord gave me that in prayer. You are a product of my grace and my mercy. And because in this moment, while I was identifying me, others were being upset with the woman that I was becoming, including my husband, including my church family, because like, who do she think she is? I don't know, but I'm discovering that I have more on the inside of me, and my pain was a part of the product that God was creating in me. Can I pause and park and tell you that your pain, let me make sure this thing down because I'll be yelling. Your pain is a part of the product that God is creating in you. He's building your character. So when I started saying that, Sister Lee, it reminded me of my why. That every pain that you're going through, every trial that you're experiencing, can y'all still hear me? Please let me know. Put the butterfly. Let me know because I turned this mic down. The pain that I experienced was really becoming the product of what God was creating within me. He was building my character, regardless of what people had to say, regardless if it looked nasty to them, regardless if they did not understand it. I had to literally find my passion within my purpose, because now I'm identifying my purpose outside of the four walls of the church. And just because I'm identifying my purpose outside of four walls of the church does not mean that I negate my servitude within the church. Come here. One thing I never did, Sister Lee, I never stopped. Thank you. I see y'all butterflies. I never stopped serving. Come here. I never stopped doing what I was doing in the ministry. Even though I found my purpose. Here, this is where we mess up at. We find our purpose and we want to negate the very thing that was building us, the very pain that was creating us, the very thing that we were going through. And here's the thing. Some pains you do have to negate and cut off or untie. But I realized that this part of my serving was building me to make me better. So God, you are making this product, my heart, my mind, my soul, everything about me. You are creating this product that you're creating is because I realized that, God, I'm a product of you. That regardless of what I'm doing, I'm a product of you. I'm a product of your grace. I'm a product of your mercy. You protected me. You kept me. And that's how I started remembering my why, and started doing different principles and started growing in those areas. And I want to share that with you this morning. Is that all right? I want to share that. So your purpose fuels your passion. So when I found out, Sister Lee, years ago, I was a writer. I was writing a journal. Brittany, I would journal. I got journals stacked up. I told the church, I said, baby, if y'all read my journals, some of y'all will probably leave this church, because some of my journals about people in the church. Yes, ma'am. It's called Dear First Lady Journal. Baby, it was my healing moment, but I didn't realize that was going to become my passion. or my passion to be able to help me grow and heal, but didn't realize that it was going to be able to help others grow and heal as well. Amen. All right, so let's talk about this. I got 4 principles I want to share with you, and then we're gonna go on. So I learned this. I learned that in the process, getting from my pain to my purpose, I had to realize that it was the pain. My pain had to meet my purpose. And then when I learned from my purpose to my passion, I had to realize that in this passion, always remember why you started or you're doing what you're doing. This month in October, I started stuff, y'all, and I gave God a yes. Now, sometimes I gave him a but I still did it. I still did it. Brittany said, listen, I still did it. But here's the thing that I found out, Brittany. I realized that, okay, Tonya, you're on to something. And when people read my book, the calls that I got and people inboxing me and people reading my book, and I'm seeing them in the store and they're like, I read your book. People I had never met before, because my book started going in places that my feet had never tread before. So I was like, what is going on? But I became passionate about it because I want to be able to use this for God's glory. And so it took me back to remembering why I wrote the book in the first place. I wrote the book so I could heal. Didn't realize, Sister Lee, that others that was going to read it would heal as well. So I had to learn important principles. Number 1, I had to learn that purpose is born through pain. Purpose is born through your pain. Purpose is born through your pain. You can't get purpose or passion without pain. You got to go through some things. God often use your pain as a seed for your purpose that would allow you to become passionate about that purpose. It would allow you. So when I wrote this book, I didn't see this book being written that it would birth into a whole bunch of stuff. When the pain happened, I couldn't see no light. And I shared that with y'all at the end of the tunnel. I could not. But once I did it and I gave God a yes and I published the book and I put the book out there and the book went to other people. Yours may not be a book, but when I started the ministry, Women of Destiny, it was like when we sat down and told our children, we're going to live like no one else so that we can live like no one else. Meaning you can't go get your nails, your hair, your nothing done. We gonna live like we broke, and we still live like that. Come here, Jesus. Still live like that. We gonna live like no one else, and so that we can live. It was a catastrophic moment, but also a moment of passion. We knew that all the pain we had experienced, being homeless, losing everything except our children. We were homeless twice. Come here. You talking about remembering your why. If y'all heard Bishop on Saturday and how he was sharing our story and what God has done, and the you have to be there to understand what I'm talking about, and understanding the manifestation of what God has done. You could get caught up in the glory of it, but don't forget, sugar, we was homeless twice. Come here. We were homeless twice. So what does that do in remembering my why and remembering that this pain, this purpose is born through my pain? The purpose that we're living in now of not being frugal. Come here. Of being frugal. Of not spending thousands of dollars, as Bishop shared with some of y'all, not buying them. I'm not buying a $1,000 ring. No ma'am ham. Sister Lee, it makes you remember your why. I remember being broke and not being able to pay for my children's medicine. So that purpose and that was born in that pain. That purpose says, if I'm going to build legacy, there's some things I just can't get. Yeah. So in the midst of, even in this book, I learned the lesson of don't run from your pain, but make sure you pay attention to your pain while you're creating this passion that it's going to create. And understanding that even though it happened, Sister Lee, my why of everything that has happened is that we survived. When I look at this book on this cane, bruh, I hope y'all can see that. That's the cane. Where am I at? Where y'all at? This is the cane I walked on. Y'all understand me? That cane in this book. Woo! Don't make me holler. is the same cane I walked on for almost a year, bruh. I wanted that picture on there just like that, so I can always remember that cane. And check this out. When I got through walking on that cane is still it's still in my closet. It's in my attic. I don't get rid of it because I'm gonna always remember my why. I had to give it to my dad because he ended up on a cane. But y'all, it's back in my office because he ended up buying him. He bought him a fresh cane. Look, Legans, he bought him a bad cane, baby. He's all decked out. Don't pay. But I remember my why. And that girl, you survived. Can you type that? Can you take a minute and just remember your why? Of why you started whatever you started. And maybe you haven't started, but I pray that this catapult you and this activates something in you to start something. That's why I created BAM, man. Because I want you to start something. I don't care what it is. Business, ministry, nonprofit. Start something. Those are the 3 areas that I started in. I can't talk about nothing else. I can tell you how to start a business. I can tell you how to start a nonprofit. And I can tell you how to start ministry. I've done all 3. Through pain, though. In the pain of it. So you got to ask yourself, did I survive that? And if I survived, okay, we're going to talk. We're going to talk. Woo, I can't wait. We're going to talk. I had to learn the purpose that was born in the pain. The next thing I had to learn, Sister Lee, was number 2. Write this down. Passion activated my obedience. Yeah, when the passion in, okay, now I did the purpose, right? And I published the book, right? I come on here, girl, you survived. I published the book, right? Then not only did I publish the book, but then I started the ministry. My husband and I downsized knowing the backlash that if anybody found out, which we ain't tell nobody. I don't know how them folks found out, but they found out. But I think when we moved to the church, that's when everybody found out because we had to live in the church the second time. But knowing that there was backlash and was not ashamed, not embarrassed, but we had to understand that our passion activated our obedience. Passion was activated by obedience. Here's the thing. My husband always say, and he got it from this girl named Marsha, that, oh my God, what is the saying? I lost my thought. Obedience will, what is the saying? Sister Lee, you know the saying? Obedience will, I forgot the saying. But anyway, obedience. Passion follows obedience, not the other way around. Passion follows obedience, not the other way around. I really want to remember what he say. Bishop not here, so passion follows obedience and not the other way around. There's something in your obedience. I can't think of it. Somebody may type it, but y'all done heard him say it before. But it was the obedience of giving the yes of starting the women's ministry, even though I said no for a year. Come here. And the Lord ate me up, and I went through trial, and I went through pain, and I went through adversity, and I went through all this stuff. I had a panic attack because I said no, and drove on the side of the road in a panic attack and could not breathe. And God told me because I was being disobedient towards my man of God. Good morning, Nicole. I was being disobedient. Lee, what is the saying Bishop say? I wish Bishop was in here. God will move at the speed of your obedience. There we go. Type that. God will move at the speed of your obedience. I found it. Thank you, Lord. God will move at the speed of your obedience. When you are obedient and you say yes, even when it doesn't make sense, because yes, thank you, Sister Lee. God will move at the speed of your obedience. That when you say yes, it's like soon as I come here, Shine, soon as I say yes, then I'm going to write the book, doors open. And it had nothing to do with people, but it was just like, get it done, right? Soon as I said yes to starting the women's ministry, God started using me in ways. I was never a speaker. I know people don't believe that, but I was very, very shy. I'm very, very much an introvert. But now introvert / the other way I can do people because I got to work with people. Not only that, but when I said yes, I started studying for the meetings that I had with the women. So I had created this women's ministry. And so every month we met and I had to come up with topics. I had to come up like I'm doing with y'all right now. Come here, baby. Your destiny is connected to your daily routine. I would come up with I got so many topics that I've done with them, with the women of destiny throughout these 14 years. I had points like I have now. And I realized that those points were principles, man, that people can use. And I started doing that. What am I telling you? Is that when you become obedient, you don't realize that your obedience is allowing you to be able to build character so that you can start moving into the things that God has called you to do. When I started creating this and I learned that I needed to walk in my divine purpose, you don't need to wait until everything makes sense. Look here, Shine, Nicole, if I would have waited to everything, I literally wanted to start this women ministry back in 2011 and say, I wanted to make sure everything makes sense. Nothing made sense. Check this out, Lee. The first day I did the thing, I sat in the room. Oh, I'm about to be vulnerable. I sat in the room with Bishop. We were in the shopping center and I sat in the room and check this out, Shine. It was like 30, 40 women there. And I'm thinking, where did they come from? Because they are not all in our church. Come here. When you say yes, God will send the people that are looking for what's in your mouth. Chili, chili, bang, bang. God will send the people that are looking for what's in your hands. God will send the people that are looking for what's in your creativity. God will send the people that are looking for what's in your book. God will send the people that is looking for what's in your business. Who am I talking to? God will send the people that are looking for the very thing that you've been through, your pain and your purpose, and will be ready to lean from you and learn from you and glean from you and grow from you. And all you have to do is give God a yes. That's it. So when I said yes, I sat in that room. I never forget it. I don't think nobody on here is from when we first started. Yes, somebody is on here. When we first started, Sister Katie can tell you, they all showed up and they invited people and we had food and all that. And I went in my husband's office and I said, no, I don't want to do this. I've never talked in front of people. I don't want to do I'm scared. I wasn't a preacher at that time. I was the first lady of the church, the pastor's wife, and didn't even like to be called first lady. How about that? Don't call me first lady. I'm just Lady Harden. But I was literally in his office saying, no, I'm not going. And I'll never forget. Tamika walked in there and Tamika was like, Pastor, not at the time, Lady Harden, they're waiting on you. Are you coming? And I'm like, yeah, give me a minute. But I sat in there with Bishop and I thank God for my husband, my rib, for him telling me, babe, you can't say no now. You put it out there. They gonna walk away empty. Woo! Jesus on the main line. They gonna walk away empty, babe. You have the very thing they need in your mouth. Can I pause and park and tell you the words that God gave my husband? You've already wrote it down. Come here. You've already put it to the paper. You've already started the business. You've already started the book. You've already started creating. You've already built the content. What are you doing? There is somebody waiting to hear your story, sugar. They are waiting on you to do your business because your business will benefit them. And you have no idea that when you go, here's the thing, from ministry to marketplace. Check this out, Shine. We've done more as pastors in the marketplace with people that don't know that we're pastors. We've done more ministry in the marketplace by giving free opportunities that our clients didn't have to pay for because we connected with organizations that pay us to get it done. And because of that, we've been able to be in homes that we tell them about the goodness of God without even knowing that this is what we've done more. Come here, Lamisha. We've done more ministry outside of the four walls of the church. Now, I ain't negating doing the four walls. I'm going to still do what I do in church. But I'm telling you what, when we doing business, we have ministered to more people that will never walk in the church, that will never come. We have a dude on our job now. He's the top dude. He probably ain't going to come to church, but he is watching us live the life. And we are the salt of the earth in his eyes. And God is allowing us to be the catapult for him to be able to grow. grow. Just because we've helped marriages that will probably never show up at church. We have businesses that will probably never give the church a chance. We have helped businesses in the marketplace because that's our passion. Because we know what it is to be broke. We know what it is to do business the wrong way. We know what it is not to be ready because people don't pay people, they pay paper. You understand? Okay, y'all heard what Bishop said this weekend. And Sugarfoot, if it works, it works. And we know how to work it. You understand? Lies then, shameless plug, going to join it. Yep, lies then. But we know how to work it. But we had to learn to be obedient and say yes. So when we said in 2019, we're going to downsize to live like no one else so that we can live like no one else, that was not a business in mind. Come here. That was only we're working and living check to check. Come here. Who am I talking to? But when you say yes to God, God will move at the speed of your obedience. Check this out, Sister Lee. Soon as we say yeah, what am I doing? I'm just sharing my journey and hoping it's helped you. Hoping it help you, sugar. I hope it help you, as my grandfather would say. I hope it help you. Okay, let me hurry up. So we realized that we had to move and we had to be obedient. Here's the thing that I learned. You don't have to have the full plan. We didn't have the full plan, Shine. Harold, we didn't have the full plan. All we said was, God, you said it. God told me in a dream. I think I was up in a vision. Downside. I heard him so clear. Downsize. My husband was in the other office and he said, we got to do something different. We were renting in a house and we in two separate rooms and God both telling us something to do and it's all lining up. But my husband said that, what did he say? Mine said, God told me downsize. And my husband said it was something different. Oh, start a business. Downsize, start a business. That didn't make sense to me. I'm like, now how we going to start a business? We don't even got no money. But God said downsize. And when we did it, God opened the door for me to get a job. Don't make sense because you told us to start a business, but it don't make. Come here, Shine. Who am I talking to? I hope this helping. Can you put the butterfly on the screen? Don't make me think I'm talking to myself. I hope this helping. When we told God yesterday, did that, downsize, did what God said do, God gave me a job. After he gave me a job, then that job that he gave me, the job was given to me to work from home during the pandemic for 6 months. Those 6 months, as I shared with you on another video, the first check, I heard the Lord say, with your first check, sow where you want to go. You talking about obedience, y'all. My whole check, and it was a good check, Sister Lee. It was a good, nice size check, sugar. He said, take the whole check and sow where you want to go. I see you. Sow where you want to go, and we did it. And next thing you know, we started getting opportunities. And after we got done, my assignment was up with this job. I didn't know it was up. Look here, Lamisha. I thought I was finna, baby, I was making good money working from home every day, baby. I could go straight, get out my bed, get on my moo and go sit down and work at a computer. Baby, that was the life. And I got paid every other week. That was the life every week. Cause it was for, I was loving it. But here's the thing. God said, pay off every debt with your check. As Bishop said Saturday. And only keep $200, but y'all paid the rest off in debt. When we paid off our obedience, somebody type obedience. We paid off our last bill. Shine. Nicole, we paid off that last bill. And those people let me go. Baby, they fired me. Girl, I wasn't doing their job right. I mean, I ain't know what I could not grasp what they were doing. And I was working for my husband's company. GE, I just made the whole man look bad, Sister Lee. I ain't know what I was doing. Messing up them folks' books. It didn't matter. But God said, that's enough. You're fired. You can't, you're not reaching the number, so we're going to let you go. Those people fired me. And we were in the midst of just signing the paperwork for our home. Fired, paperwork for our home. Obedience. Because God said, sign the paperwork. June, we signed the paperwork for our house to start getting built from the ground up. Homeless. Come here. Built. Then turned around. July, they fired me. It doesn't make sense when God has you doing obedience. It will never make sense. And you don't have the full plan. Just say yes. God knows the next step. Can you type that? Just say yes. God knows the next step. He has the step and plan for you. But your passion is activated by obedience. You become obedient. God knows the plan. Number 3, your purpose expands when you share it. Take that. Your purpose will expand when you share it. Your purpose will expand when you share it. Check this out. When we were no longer embarrassed about being, because by this time, my husband, we had signed the lease for a year. I'm trying to go back to something else because I don't want to get caught up in that. We signed the lease for a year after God said yes. God said sign the lease for a year because y'all are going to be out of this apartment. We had nowhere to live. We could have went and stayed with my mom or in-law. We weren't doing that. I don't like staying with grown folks. So we had to go stay at the church. And God said, and you're not going to be embarrassed about it. You're going to share your story. And you're going to share with them what I've done for you. When I went through the pain of my book and I was swollen in the face and I was going through and I'm going to the church and God said, you're going to share. I never forget, Sister Lee, we had an event at the high school in Cold Spring and I did a mother-daughter. That's when I used to do the mother-daughter breakfast. And there was multiple people that signed up for this to come. Shine, I was so swollen in my face. I was on the cane. My husband had to pick me up out the car. And I didn't want to go, but I had already planned this event and I was the main person to speak. I was running the panel. I wanted to, I'm not finna cry. I wanted to not show up because I look so bad. They have a picture. Somebody has it. I don't know who. I wish I could find that picture. But I was there because purpose was about to be expanded, was about to be elevated, was about to be, purpose was about to help others. I had to show up because it was my event and I put it on and I was the one and nobody knew what to ask and they didn't know how to do panel because all of my women were shy and I had to do it. Yeah, somebody else could have done it, but the Lord said, no, you're going. You're going to go to this event. Swole on a cane. You're going to go. I know it had to be over 100+ people in this building. And I walked in the building. Nobody knew besides my church. Not even my family knew. You talking about sharing your story. Lamisha, I walked in that building on that cane. I was bent over because my knees were so, they would pop so bad and they were so swollen. And my back would give out on me because it was so much weight on me. Come here. What do you do when God puts you on display? For the very thing that you have no idea what he's about to use for his glory? What do you do? What started as me going into this building, I walk in there and I'm swollen my face. I go through the whole program and some people looking at me like, what is wrong with her? Because nobody knows. And they're looking like, oh my God, you know, you could tell people were staring. But then you had others that walked up to me and gave encouraging words. And I needed those words that day. But after that event was over and when my book came out, most of those people that were there bought that book because they wanted to know the story of what happened. They wanted to know the story. What started as a journey, as a story, it becomes someone else's survival guide. Hey, husband, did they see you? Say, hey, they saw you in the video. Say, hey, husband. What they saw as a story became a survival guide for them. Sister Lee, it became a survival guide for them. A whole survival guide. And because it became a survival guide, it turned this book that I created into not just a book anymore, but then God said, now you're going to expand your story and you're going to tell it even more. So I want you to create a Facebook group and I also want you to create a master's class. Come here. So the book now turned into a master class. So come here. I hope this is helping. Your very thing that you're going through, you're going to end up sharing it. Why? Because the Bible says we are delivered by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. It's not for you to keep it to yourself and be embarrassed about, but for you to tell your story. This is what I believe, Lamisha. A lot of people that rock out with us is because they know we don't mind telling the whole story, bruh. We're going to tell the whole thing. Yeah, everything. So God said, create a masterclass and tell the fullness of what happened. from you as a child all the way up. So your first masterclass is going to be called From Pain to Purpose. So AKA some of the content I'm sharing with you now, I've shared in the masterclass. But it's on my website. You can go purchase it today. It's already there. Videos that you can watch. But shameless plug, you can go purchase on my website. I have multiple classes that are on my website. But I had to literally share my story. And so it became ministry for me outside of the church, but it became ministry in motion. So I created a masterclass, and these people showed up. It's 2015-16, and people showed up to this masterclass virtually. That now, years later, is now the band program. Come on here, glory. But showed up to this masterclass, and it took what God did for you. It takes what God did for you to be able to multiply it, that it will be able to help others beyond you. I started connecting with women outside. Come here. Oh, Shine. I hope this is helping you. I started connecting with women other states, because at that time we were on Periscope. Is it Periscope? I think it was Periscope, something like that. It was a whole different platform than Facebook. So I was on that platform back in those days. I think it was Periscope. And people started showing up that was in other states. This little old girl from Texas. You mean to tell me God can turn your pain into expansion? To where you're not just helping people on your street, but you are helping people that all over the world because of your one story? Baby, God will do it. He will do it like no other. Even with us downsizing, we were able to help pastors and leaders through my pastor's wife connection in other states that were going through homelessness, that were going through trials and tribulation because we shared our story. Somebody say, share your story, sugar. Share your story. Don't be ashamed. When God bring you out. Now, don't share while you're in the midst of it and you ain't learned the lesson in it. So we learned the lesson in the downsize of living like no one else so that we can live like no one else. And so when we learned that lesson, and then we started our business and we did all the paperwork first for a whole 2 years. Come here, Lamisha. God kept us hiding. He kept us in hiding. God said, I'm going to make you look like a public failure, but I'm making you a private success where people are going to want to connect with you because of how I'm going to make entrepreneur. My husband said these words, and I don't mind saying it in this group. And if you see this on live on social media, you don't know me like that to even know what I'm about to say. And you can take it how you want to take it. But I'm going to say what I'm going to have to say and what he said. That we going to make entrepreneurship look sexy. Come here. We going to make entrepreneurship look sexy. Yeah, them the words the Lord told my husband. We're going to make it look sexy. And I believe we do that. But it's the story behind it. In order for it to look sexy, we show you the story of what God multiplied because of pain. Come here, glory. What God multiplied because of pain. Okay, I got to get off here. I done been on here long. Okay, so you got to be willing to share your story. So I don't mind sharing how, when I did my it was a third masterclass, and every woman that was in that masterclass, it was for pastor wives. My first band program I changed over from masterclasses to band program, and I did it for pastor wives. And so I'll never forget the day before I did the pastor's wife class, I had 8 women that was in that class, baby. New beginning. I had 8 women that was in that class, and 7 of them were from different states. That I had never met them in person, but they trusted me to be able to do this. But in the night before the class, I heard some news that put me in from someone that was very, very near to me. And it put me in a fetal position of crying. And I wanted to call and tell those ladies and inbox them and email them and say, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to do the class. And God told me, no, I am expanding your territory. So I need you to still show up. I had to show up to that class the next day. Sister Lee, my eyes were so red from crying because I was so broken and I was so hurt. But God used that pain for me to share with those pastors' wife in private. I didn't share what happened, but I was able to push through that pain and share the story of before. I was able to push through that pain and share that story. Purpose is not meant to be poured out and not hidden. Purpose is not meant to be poured out and not hidden. Purpose is meant to be poured out and not hidden. You don't want to keep hiding your story. Because your story can become the platform of places that you've never been. Because of my stories, I've shared in multiple books. I tell anybody, if you ever want to know about me, baby, read them books. I promise you, it's all in there. I poured out, and there's a lot of information in those books. But I realized too, I didn't want to hurt nobody, but they were a part of my story, so I had to share it. So share your story. Last and not least, passion creates legacy. Type that. Passion creates legacy. Jesus, I start getting wet. Passion creates legacy. Yes. Passion creates legacy. When you walk in your purpose with passion, you don't just change your life, you shift generations. What'd she say? You don't just change your life, but you shift generations. Legans, Nicole Lee, I don't know who else is on here. But if I told you that sitting in that apartment that felt like a sardine can. Now, y'all, it was a townhouse. It was like 3-bedroom. But, baby, we were used to living in houses. We hadn't lived in an apartment. And yeah, I'm not knocking nobody no apartment, but we had been living in a house. We had our house for like 13, 14 years. So I hadn't been in a house in a minute. But if you would have told me that pain, that situation would have turned into a passion that would create legacy, I would have said, baby, you lying. I went from pastor's wife, because we said yes to starting a church from the ground up, to, first of all, I wasn't doing nothing before then at all, baby. I was just being a mother and a wife to my husband. We became the pastor's wife, which was great, but it wasn't until I shifted and started the women's ministry. Well, when I started the women's ministry, it went from being the pastor's wife to, okay, dang, it's more of me. I gotta start something. And I knew that it was something. I didn't know what, but I knew I needed to say yes, because God said, write the book. Wrote the book, got the book out there. It went from author to mentor to movement. Can you type that? Ooh, it went from author to mentor to movement. Yeah, movement in leadership, movement in business, movement in ministry, movement in the marketplace. It became a movement for me and my family that allows us to be in rooms and sit in rooms with our city, that allows us to be in rooms and sit in rooms within the government arena, that allows us to sit in rooms and be in rooms with others that are pushing even more legacy than what we could ever imagine. It will become legacy. Touching women through my band program has been amazing. Touching the women in my ministry has been amazing. Touching women through my books have been amazing. Excuse me. But when God catapulted us in the entrepreneur arena, again, it was different. What am I telling you? That your journey of where you're on and what you're doing, as I share with my BAM community, people say, what is my purpose? Come here, Shine. Here we go. What is my purpose? What am I supposed to do? Can I pause and park and tell you, baby, you living in it now? Can you type that? You're already there. You're living in your purpose. Don't let nobody out here fool you and make you think you ain't living in your purpose. No, you're living in your purpose. The only way that you stop living in your purpose, when you stop growing, when you stop learning, when you stop converting, when you stop being convicted and converted, when you stop allowing yourself not to walk into the next, when you become stuck and complacent, and when you become okay with where you are and you don't learn more. I always say this and will forever say this. If you are the smartest person in your room or in your circle and you don't go to other circles to learn, that's a problem. You won't learn that way. Right now, my husband and I are going through coaching with our coach. We're in coaching and training with her for the next 8 weeks. And the stuff that we're learning with her, Sister Lee, is blowing our mind. And baby, it's going to be so amazing for the Lion's Den community. Because we didn't realize what we were holding. Come here. So when you get in other rooms, you don't realize the legacy that you're holding or the legacy that you carry because of what God has built through you, because our passion is to see business owners take their businesses to the next level. My passion is to show women that they can win, and to show women that they are a product of God's grace and mercy. That's my passion. I don't want no woman that ain't assigned to me. And if you ain't assigned, don't do that. Don't you be, baby, I will mess you up. I will make you sugar. You will be so uncomfortable because I'm constantly changing. I'm contagious to change. You understand me? Because I'm always looking for a way to change. And I'm always looking for a way to grow. And right now, with my coach, with our coach, Lamisha, I shared a little bit with her. Lee, I'm like this because I realize that I can't just get from my circle. I got to go to other circles to learn from that are growing and shows their fruit. I don't just want any circle, but I need to see your fruit. And baby, I didn't see my coach fruit. You understand me? I'm talking about a woman that bought 20 acres. Yeah. That didn't build apartment complexes. Yeah. I need to see your fruit. I haven't seen it. Yeah. I need to see your fruit of what you're doing. So I just say this to you. If you're going to turn your purpose into passion, be willing to allow your passion to create legacy. Legacy is not always about money. Legacy is what you leave in someone. I know this. What's up, Miss Blanks? Kanisha, I know this. This here, if I'm dead and gone, you will forever be able to find my book online, on Amazon, or anywhere else. Because why? I'm leaving impact and legacy within you. Or me having this conversation with you right now is creating legacy for you because I'm shaking up some stuff in your mind. I'm messing up your whole decision. I pray I am. Come here, Sister Lee. I pray I'm messing you up. I pray I'm making you think. I pray I'm activating. God is using my pain, my story to activate some stuff in you right now, this very moment. I pray I mess you up. If you watch this fully, in capacity, baby, you gon' leave these next weeks thinking to yourself, for every Tuesday I'm showing up. And if you watch the replay from last Tuesday, it's gonna make you think, God, this hard time was worth it. Everything I've been through was worth it. You gonna think to yourself, everything I've gone through is worth it. Then you're gonna be like, wait a minute, how do I turn this purpose into something? How do I turn this passion into something? How do I do that? If you watch these and you rock out within this community, you gonna be shaking. And I pray you do. And I pray you can't sleep at night. I pray that whatever God has put on the canvas of your mind to do, that you will walk in it fully, but you will take the proper steps to get it done. That's my prayer, is that you take the proper step to get it done. Because here's the thing, when you honor your process of what you're going through and you share your story, your pain, your obedience, your growth, your mistakes, your mess ups, God turns your story into a blueprint for others. What she say? God will turn your story. What is it? My pastor's wife. It's called the pastor's wife. Pastor's wife guide. It's a pastor. You are the fragrance. It is a blueprint for pastor wives. Come here. It's a blueprint that allows you to be able to grow. Come here. Characteristics of women in the Bible is a blueprint for you to be able to grow. Lions Den small business community is a blueprint of how you, women of debt, a blueprint to how you can go. The power of moving from purpose to passion is allowing your story to be the blueprint for somebody else's life. And there's ways you can do that. You know, I don't got time to share all that. Now I'm just giving you to think about right now if you ain't never thought about it. So I can't tell you how to share it all the way. Now you can join my band program. Get on my waiting list so you can get the information. It's coming out really, really soon. This week, actually, you're going to get information about the deals and the opportunities for that. Not about that, but it is about that because I can show you how to get there. I can't wait to even share that part. But when you honor your process and you embrace every pain, every trial from a little girl into now, you will be able to turn that passion into something. So what you're looking at, old girl from Point Blank, Texas, sugar, probably right down the street from some of y'all. I've learned how not to allow my city to be the mentality of my thinking, but I think bigger, if that makes sense. I'm not knocking Point Blank. I'm not. We country. I get it. But baby, I think bigger than that. You can't. You do what you have to do to make it happen. So I pray this helped you. I pray this encouraged you. Listen, join my BAM waiting list. Go ahead, join it. They're gonna get some information this week. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all. No, I ain't gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna tell them first. But there's some discounts when you join my BAM waiting list. It's gonna start January 2026. Rock out with me. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the title. The title for the 2026 BAM program. Drum roll. You know I have a topic every time, and the topic for next year is a 12-week next level success program. For 3 months, you're going to rock out with me. A 12-week next level success. Can you type that in the screen? Next level success. Next level success. That means you that person that's been thinking about some stuff, and you already did put some stuff in play, and you just need to know how to strategically bring that thing to life. You just need a strategic plan. You need opportunities, and you just need a structure. I'm your girl. Rock out with me. Next year, it's coming out soon, probably by the end of October. But for those that are in my BAM list, you're going to get it this week. The waiting list, the first 10 people will be able to get the sale, the huge sale. You get more of a discount and more stuff, as well as you get an opportunity to get a mentorship. A next level workbook. So that's going to come in it as well. So join us for the next level success 12-week program. On top of that, I'm going to give it to you as well when you join the BAM. Yes, I'm shouting out. I'm doing a call to action for those that didn't join me for content. Let me tell you, yes, I am. Is also, we are doing a BAM retreat. I shared it at the Empower Her conference. BAM retreat is going to be happening October 2026. You also get a discount. I think it's 25 or 30% discount off of the BAM retreat, which is going to be in Cancun or Florida, depending on how the government working. We're going to see what that look like. But Florida Keys, that it's going to be an all-inclusive trip where we're going to be it's going to be 4 days, 5 nights, 5 days, 4 nights, in Florida Keys. So you'll be able to get that discount with that BAM, when you join a BAM program, and you get a chance to meet other women, and these women coming together and y'all getting to know each other. By the time you get to the retreat, y'all already know each other. You're rocking out. So join me. Information coming soon. I can't give it to you now. I got to give it to the waiting list first. So join my waiting list. Sister Lee put the link in there. Go to my website, join the waiting list. BAM. It's Butterfly Academy mentorship program that I do once a year because of my schedule. Now you say, I don't want to join it. I don't want to wait. No worries. Go grab one of my classes. I got classes in there. I will be doing a Black Friday sale if you even want to wait for that. But join those classes. But anyway, I thank y'all for rocking out with me. Next week, join me. If you saw the flyer, you saw that next week we are going to be talking about, what are we talking about next week? Next week, we're going to be talking about from purpose to profit, building a kingdom business. So I told you how I started off first week, how I started off finding God in my hard place. I shared that with you. Finding God in my hard place, the hardest place of my life when I wanted to quit and all that. Go back and watch the first video. You'll see it in this group. I did not want to share this outside because I just want those that want to be in here. I want to talk to you. But this week I talked about discovering what God called you to do. I shared with you how I discovered the purpose and my passion. Go back for those that's joining on, watch the replay. And then last but not least, next week we got 2 more. So 2 more. Next week we're going to talk about how I turned that passion into profit. Don't join me if you ain't ready, because it's not bragging or boasting, but it's giving God glory. Because again, as I said, you gotta share your story. And so I'm gonna show you how we went from homeless to a 7-figure business, now almost. We show you what that looks like and how that happened. So I'm gonna share different principles with you and how you can be obedient to the very thing and how you can turn that idea of what God is giving you into profit, to where this is what my husband and I do now full time. He fired his boss last year. You can go to my YouTube channel. There's multiple videos on there about this, but I'm going to be sharing more just from my point of view of learning how to turn my passion into profit. All right. So join me next Tuesday between 7 a.m. and 8:39. I try to do about before 8:30, but I do it before 9 a.m. Thank y'all for rocking out. Make sure you invite someone. Do me a favor. Invite someone to this group that you believe that will be encouraged and empowered through this group and what we're sharing. But rock out with me. What's up, Candy? What's up? What's up, Sister D? I see y'all. Make sure y'all watch the replay. Thank y'all so much for joining. Until next time, I'll rock out with you next Tuesday. I'm going to share a couple of things in here, email, blog, different things that I've done. So kind of look for that. I'll share some more content this week just to kind of give you encouragement, power, and rock out with me. I love dialogue. So I may ask some questions and all of that. But until next time, go sign up for my band waiting list, sugar, so you can get the information this week and get the extra discount. It's already going to be a sale, but BAM List get an extra discount. Until next time, if you don't remember anything else, remember this. You are a product of God's grace and mercy when you learn to see yourself through God's eyes and not people. Stay blessed. Thank y'all for rocking out. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.